So obviously I didn't do my usual post-game video last night after the Bulls lost to the Lakers, as I'm sure most of you like me went straight to bed after the game concluded. But even though the game ended in a loss, I have to say I was still pretty pleased by what I saw from this team. Obviously it wasn't perfect. Obviously they went cold in some stretches in the game, which is what enabled the Lakers to take big leads at various parts in the game. Obviously Luka ate them up for lunch and there was nothing the Bulls could do to stop him. But generally speaking, I thought they played a pretty competitive game against a Lakers team that is actually trying to win right now, given where they are in the standings in the Western Conference. Like, you can call it March basketball all you want, but this Lakers team is doing their damnedest to try to win every game for the rest of the season, given there are only 2 games that separate seeds 3 and 7 in the West. And after last night's win, the Lakers moved themselves up into the 3rd seed. So they're trying. They didn't rest guys. Their core is fully healthy now. And the Bulls, they made them work. And hey, you can call it an ideal loss, right? It's an ideal loss because the loss helps the tank, even though I'm pretty sure now the Bulls are likely going to finish somewhere in the 9th or 10th spot in the pre-lottery positioning, depending on what happens with the Bucks for the rest of the season. A loss nonetheless, and you know what? And I said this last night, I really don't care as long as we see Modest and Giddey continue to ball out and continue to show signs of progress, that these are the guys that you can build this team around going forward, because they're not there yet. They're not at that level right now where you're like, oh yeah, Modest is that guy. Josh is that guy. These are guys that are going to elevate your team and take you to the next level. They're not there yet. There's still a lot of areas to their game that they need to work on, but given the progress we've seen from them over the last 2 seasons since first joining the Bulls, and especially more recently on this road trip, you're starting to see the promising signs that they could be on their way to getting there. I mean, we talked about the career high from Modest, 41 points against the Warriors, being more active and aggressive on offense, scoring from everywhere on the court, playing on and off the ball. You saw that again last night. Now, he went a bit cold in the second half, and I think that's because Luka got in his head a bit. They were trash-talking each other most of the second half, and Modest really struggled to finish on offense, and his jump shot fell off. But in the first half, once again, attacking the basket, using his recognition when he had the size and speed advantage to get to the hoop, getting to the foul line once again, only shot 7 for 19, most of those misses coming in the second half, but still managed to finish with 22 points, went 4 for 11 from deep. As I've been saying all season long, would still like to see him go inside more, would prefer not to see most of his shots coming from distance, but in any event, 22 points to go along with 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He's currently 5th in the league in total blocks right now, coming up on 100 blocks on the season with still a lot of games left to play. And then Josh Giddey, coming off a career tying high, I should say, 17 assists against the Warriors, comes up with another 15 assists in this game, hit a career high 6 threes, went 6 for 9 from behind the arc, 10 for 17 overall, a very efficient 27 points for Giddey to go along with 8 rebounds, just a little shy of that triple-double. I mean, what I love seeing in this game from Giddey was that he started taking over on offense in the second half when Modest started struggling to score. The team went down by as many as 22 points, I believe it was, and you thought, okay, they're going to pack it up. It's another bad third quarter, and we're just going to see some garbage time early in this game. No, Giddey comes into the game and leads the Bulls on a massive run to bring it within single digits before the quarter closes. And I don't think enough can be said about how much Giddey has improved his shot. That was literally the biggest knock on his game for his career. Well, I guess his defense too, but the biggest knock on his game was that he can't shoot. And since joining the Bulls, he's taken his 3-point shooting percentage from around 31% on his career with the Thunder to shooting 38% last season on the highest volume of his career, to this season where he's shooting it even better at 39% on even higher volume than last season at 5 attempts per game. And then his passing too. His passing has gotten even better when it comes to seeing the entire floor and where guys are going to be before the defense even has a chance to get set, averaging a career high in assists at nearly 9 a game. The biggest thing that Giddey needs to work on is his turnovers. His turnovers have been concerning this season, averaging 3.7 turnovers per game. That's up from last year where he was averaging 2.9. 3.7 is one of the highest in the league. And while yes, his overall usage has gone up, so you expect to see his turnovers go up as well, but this is the highest turnover rate and percentage of his career, even factoring in that higher usage. And then, man, things are still looking good with Leonard Miller. Is it possible that this could be the best acquisition the Bulls made at the trade deadline, even though he really was thrown in there as an afterthought for salary filling purposes? This man needs to be in the rotation, even when some of these guys who are currently out right now are coming back. Like, Miller wasn't even getting any playing time after the deadline, but now With Simons, Ivy, Sexton, Patrick Williams, at times Jalen Smith being out, he's getting a little more run. Even starting the last 2 games, and he's shown up well. Yes, dare I say it, but has been better than Patrick Williams, and is probably a good Pat replacement to the point where I would rather see Miller in the rotation over Patrick Williams, if when Pat actually does come back to the lineup. He's just been better. He's been more impactful. And that's really been on both ends of the floor. Miller last night finished with 15 points and 9 rebounds. And then finally, what I will say is Rob Dillingham actually looked decent last night. I said I was out on this guy after the last game. I tweeted that. For whatever reason, that tweet blew up and got over 1 million views. But then he follows it up with the best game of his Bulls tenure. Probably in his career, really, since, he wasn't really getting much playing time with the Timberwolves. I mean, he still only put up 12 points on 5 for 10 shooting, but he had 7 assists, had some nice pick and roll lobs to Nick Richards, who actually has been a great lob man for the Bulls, by the way, 7 assists and 5 rebounds. But to me, it was his decision making that was considerably better. Yeah, he's still out of control at times. I'm still kind of cringing when he's taking the ball the length of the floor and he has nowhere to go once he gets inside, but his passing was more on point. His shot selection was better, not great, but better. And he was seeing the floor ahead of him better than what we've seen thus far. I'm still out on this guy. One improved game isn't going to sell me on this kid, but that was at least promising to see from Rob Dillingham. Man, the Bulls shot 54% from the field and 42% from 3. I know I'm being a bit too optimistic here given the current state of this team and the fact that they still lost the game and were behind through most of it, but they did better than I expected, especially with how depleted they are as a team right now. And again, at the end of the day, I'm not as focused on the result, but rather are we seeing progress continuing to be made with Modest and Josh Giddey. As long as that's occurring in these games, that's all I really care about. Anyway, the Bulls are right back at it later tonight, another late game against the Clippers. Gonna be a tough one. Let's see how the Bulls show up against a team that is fighting for the playoffs. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.